Mila, when you were in Auschwitz, describe for me a little bit the experience of being a prisoner in Auschwitz, living next to the gas ovens.
Well, it was a constant nightmare from the very beginning. We were herded first into the zone, I suppose, stripped of everything. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I think the word's a shower in English, isn't it?
They called it a zona.
Yeah, you can say zona or what we call it.
The showers, yeah.
If you could start right from the beginning again.
Okay. When we arrived in Auschwitz, we were herded right away into the showers. Before the showers, we were stripped of everything. Some of the ladies were shaven, some were not. We were given, first from the very beginning, we realized in Auschwitz that everything was meant for death, not for life. You know, there was no soap. There was no glass in the windows. The water, of course, was freezing cold. This was November in Auschwitz, you know. We were given the so-called Dutch shoes, the wooden clogs, you know, and the mud was up to our mid calves. And, you know, you were walking in those wooden clogs, and the clogs remained in the mud, and we continued walking. You know, we had no stockings, of course, no underwear of any kind, no sanitary conditions of any kind, absolutely no toilet paper, nothing that a woman, let's say, needs for her sanitary condition. And we began to be very, very hungry because the diet was zero. So but we couldn't even eat what we've got because we all developed dysentery. So for instance, to illustrate the conditions, like, let's say, of course, during the day, we walk to the latrine, not always making it on time. But let's say at night, I had an experience like this when I got off my bunk and I walked. During the night, you couldn't go to the latrine. So there was a big, big pail there. So I walked to the pail, and with my luck, the pail was full. And the lady who was in charge of the pail said, you cannot, you know, you have to take that pail with the next one who is going to get up before, of course, it's too late, you know, and here you have no possibility of even washing yourself well, and so on. Then there were constant roll calls, constant terror from the women guards and the SS, but mostly women guards because they were in the immediate proximity of us. During the roll calls, we were supporting each other because some of us were ready to collapse, you see, and we were staying on roll call for hours. We were taking little beads that we had in the soup and putting it as instead of rouge on our cheeks, because when they did make a selection, they based it on the physical appearance of a person. So if you were a little too pale or too weak looking, they took you out. Luckily, from our transport, the 300 Schindler women, I think that they took out at the very beginning only 2 older ladies, from which I think one made it back, and we were preserved as a whole group together. We slept, I think, about 13 to the bunk. I don't know how we did it, but we did it, you know, in one direction. We didn't know what the tomorrow will bring. We saw the other women who were even worse than us because they were longer in Auschwitz than we were. I will never forget the experience that's constantly in my mind. When one time, I don't know why, but probably I was sent with another 1 or 2 girls to bring the so-called cereal, you know, the cream of or whatever, you know, the porridge or whatever, which was really water, hot water. And as we were walking with that from the kitchen to our barrack, there were shadows of women appeared because it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, with shaven heads, already dressed in these tattered clothes of Auschwitz, and they put their bowls that they had, which they probably used for other purposes also, into our cereal and grabbed it on the way. As we were carrying it, they were so terribly hungry. They had no control of their actions or their emotions or nothing. And we were thinking, my God, are we going to become like that, you know? So that's one of the most terrifying experiences, and the total feeling of hopelessness, because we didn't know. We hoped that Schindler will get us out, but how could we be sure?